So today's topic is on performance planning. Performance planning is a very important planning for the organization because it's basically enabled the managers to define a particular activity to the employees. If that planning is effective one, then employees have more cleared about the responsible jobs, right? So that is the that is the major thing that the performance planning meaning is. First, we're going to have discuss about its meaning. So that is on your screen. Meaning of performance planning. Performance planning is the process of communication between a manager and an employee that results in mutual understanding of what the employee should be doing during the next period of time. So as per this definition, the major thing is what? It's a process. It's a process. It means it's a continuous thing. Process of what? Communication. So communication plays a very vital role in the performance planning because it's cleared out the employees what exactly they are going to do for the next period of time. So that mutual understanding between the employee and the manager is based on that only. The more effective the understanding is there, the better the employee is going to understand about that particular planning, what exactly they are going to do in the next period of time. Right. So that is the major thing about this definition, where we're going to have concentrated over what? Major thing, the communication between the manager and the employee, and that communication is results what? It's create a kind of mutual understanding that enables the employee, that make them more clear about what exactly they are going to do in next period of time, right? Then next one, performance planning may be defined as systematic outline of the activities that managers is expected to undertake during a specified period so that he is able to make his best contribution to developmental and organizational outcome. So this is the major thing. What exactly, according to this definition, the major point is what? It's a systematic outlining of the activity. It means that whatever the job that managers are expected from the employees, that they should have to clear them in very detailed manner. That outline of activity should be very much conveyed to the employees in a very detailed manner so that whatever the employees is going to do, it should be contributed to the organization development and their outcomes, right? So if in a particular period of time, for example, if you are a manager, if you want to uh, define something to your employees, for example, if you want certain human resource for your organization, so what you should have to do, you should have to clear them that how you're going to have proceed to recruit a particular employees. So that recruitment is based on what kind of conditions that you should have to clear them. Outlining of activities is very important for the managers to convey to their employees, because of that, for a particular specified period of time, the employees can able to put up their effort over their job. The maximum that clarity is there, the maximum that kind of transparency is there between the managers and the employee about the job, the better it is for the organization development and its outcome. So that is the meaning of this definition. So if we're going to have see this definition at a glance, then the major point in this definition is what? Systematic outlining of the activities should be clear to the employees through the managers, right? Then performance planning define expectations, the results to be achieved, and the skills, knowledge, expertise, and capabilities required to attain these results. So this definition given by Armstrong. And if you're going to have divide this particular definition that is on your screen into two parts. First one is what? That expectation should be met by the employees. Whatever the expectations are there from the managers for the employees, that employees should have to achieve, that results should have to achieve. So that expectation is only going to be met out when the employees are known towards the facts of the job. Known towards means they know that what kinds of skills, knowledge, expertise, and capabilities should be required to attain that results. Right. For example, if I'm going to tell you people to join any organization and start recruiting the employees, it is possible for you to do that. I'm expecting from you as a manager, and I'm going to have cleared out you also what are different kinds of activities that you should have to do to recruit the employees. Right. I will definitely going to clear you the outline of the job. But is it possible for you to achieve that result? Is it possible for you to assure the outcome of that particular job? No. Why? Because you as an individual don't know about the skills, knowledge, expertise, and capabilities that are required to attain that result. So that is the major thing in this definition. First thing is what? That expectation should be defined very clearly to the employees. The results that they have to achieve, it should be very clear to them. And second, you have to tell them also that what kind of expertise, skill, and knowledge and capabilities required to attain this job, to attain the results. And that is the reason why performance planning is so much important for the organization. And as a manager, you always have to work upon your employees. You always have to develop them. You always have to train them so that whatever the kind of expertise required for a particular job, it is possible for them to attain that. Right. So this definition is very, very precise one, but it is very important for us to understand because it divides the two parts for performance planning meaning. First one, expectation, and second one, the kind of competency that the employee should have to attain that results. Right. Then performance planning is a process in which employee and manager work together to determine what the employee should be doing in the next year and what successful performance means, right? So here, again, the same thing is coming out for the meaning of performance planning is what? It's a process. It's a process of what? In which employee and manager both have to come together. They both have to very much clear about each other's responsibilities so that they can able to understand that what exactly that employee should have to do in next year. So for example, I have 1 year as an employee, I have 1 year, next 1 year, so that manager should have cleared me exactly what I should have to achieve in this next year. And another important point of this definition is what? They should clear their employees that what successful performance means. For example, as an HR manager, I'm going to give you one responsibility to recruit 20 employees, right? You are ready to recruit the 20 employees. You have that capability to recruit them also. But when you have recruited that 20 employees, is that 20 employees are capable for the organizational achievement? Is that 20 employees have that kind of skills, knowledge or not? If not, it means that you have did your job, but it is not a successful one, right? So as a manager, you should have to convey them, you should have to communicate them also, not only what they should have to do in next particular period of time, but also you have to clear them that what exactly the successful performance means, right? So these are all about the performance planning and their meaning. Now we're going to have check out about the objectives of the performance planning. First, we're going to have discuss about at the level of organization, that is at organizational level. So first objective at organizational level is what? To clearly define and communicate to employees the organization's mission, objectives, strategies, and performance goals. So that is the major thing. So whenever you people will be there in any organization in the future, definitely you're going to understand first what the mission of the organization, what exactly the objectives of the organization is, how we're going to have achieve our target, that is strategies and performances goals. Because if the major problem with our system is what, if your employees are don't know about their organization, it means that wherever they are, at whatever the platform on which they are working, if they don't know what exactly they are for particular job, then that clarity, that is, if that clarity will not be there, then it is not possible for them to perform effectively. So if your employees have very much cleared about the organization mission, if they cleared about organization mission, it means that each and every employee of your organization is going to work together for a single goal. They're going to have sacrificed their own benefits for the benefit of the organization. It is only possible when that much of clarity is there among your employees about the organization missions, objectives, strategies, and performance goals. So the major objective at organization level of performance planning is what? You should have to define and communicate your employees very clearly about the organization's mission, what exactly that you should have to achieve, that is objective, how we're going to have perform in a particular period of time, that is strategies, and then to what you have to achieve, that is the goal, right? That is the major thing. Clearly define and communicate to employees the organization mission, objectives, strategies, and performance goals. Then second one, to provide appropriate resources, support, and training to employees in order to achieve goals and targets. So that is also very important part. For example, if you have planned something for your organization, if you want any kind of performance, if you want any kind of, if you plan any kind of performance, if you want to expect any kind of performance from your employees for a particular period of time, so that expectation is only going to be meet out when you know that whether your employees have appropriate resources or not, whether they have that much of infrastructure support or not, whether your employees have that much of trained characteristics or not, then only that performance that you expected is going to meet out. Otherwise, it will not going to meet out. So that performance planning is constitute these facts also. You have to see that whether your employees have that much of resources or not. Then if it is not, then you have to let them available. If the support will not be there, then you should have to give them that support. If the employees are not trained to perform for a particular job, then you have to train them also to achieve certain goals and targets. So this is the two major objective that is on your screen at organization level for performance planning. Then next one, to ensure that employees receive a feedback on continuous basis. That is the major thing, because if you are going to have plan something, then that planning is only going to be fruitful for the long-term basis when you are going to have correct it on time-to-time basis. For example, if you have planned something and if your employees are not fulfilling your expectation, then you have to see it. You have to evaluate it. What are the different reasons that they are not fulfilling the expectation? Is that any problem on the shop floor? Is there any problem with them or any communication problem? If it is there, then you have to correct it? How it is possible for you to correct your actions? Only when your employees are going to give a right kind of feedback to you. So that feedback system should also be very important for the organization, specifically for performance planning, to make it more effective in the future. The more feedback, the more corrective actions you are going to take on over your planning steps, the better it is for you to make your planning effective in the future for your organization. Then fourth one, to align the job description with organizational objectives and strategies. So that is the major thing that you all have to be very much care about it. Whatever the job description means, whatever the job responsibilities that the employee should have to achieve, whether that description, responsibility, or job detail is as per the organizational objective or strategy or not, that you should have to assure. What I told you, I gave an example to you earlier that if in a bullock cart, two bulls are there, if both the bulls are running in opposite direction, then your bullock cart will never go to any place, to any destination. Why? Because it is there only because of opposite forces. So if your objectives and strategies are not exactly what job description are there, it means that if the what it is not going to align with that job description, then what happens? Whatever the efforts your employees are doing, putting over the organization, whatever the planning you have did for them to improve their performance, if it is not aligned with the organizational objectives and strategy, then it means that it is not going to be fruitful for the organization, right? So that is the major thing that you all have to take care. So whatever the job description is there for a particular employee, it should be aligned with what organizational objectives and strategy of the organization. Then to boost motivation and self concept of the employees, that is also the major thing. The employees is only going to be have achieved a particular target and objective when you will be there to motivate them always. You will be there to make them clear about their self concepts. Self concept is something that they know about their particular responsibility. Every time you will not be there to watch them. You should have to inculcate a kind of responsibility also among them. What exactly you are doing and what purpose you are in the employee. You are for what purpose you are there in the organization. If they know that purpose, if they know the responsibility, then that kind of self-motivation also be there. But to check them always, because as a human being, it's quite difficult for a general human being, for a general employee to always boost up their motivation to perform effectively. Sometimes you have to check their work. If they are doing very well, then you have to give them the rewards. That can be intrinsic reward, that can be extrinsic reward. But anyway, you always have to work over their specific motivational activity. If they are motivated, if their motivation is boosted up, then they're always going to be performed well for the organization, right? So these are the basic uh, objectives for performance planning at the level of organization. Now, what are the objectives at managerial level? So what the managers should have to take care while planning a performance. First one, to provide the opportunity to employees for joint goal setting for greater ownership and accountability. So that is the major thing. That is the first thing. If you're going to have involved your employees in goal setting, that I already told you earlier also, if we're going to have feel them that ownership about a particular job, ownership in the sense they should have to think like that this job is basically for me only. It's my organization. If I'm not going to have performed well, then my organization is going to be face a loss or any other kind of negative effects. That ownership should be there, that accountability should be there. Whatever they are going to perform, they should not to have to transfer that to anyone, that this happened because of not me, because of that you have not did these things effectively. I have performed well, I have did my job very well, but due to your uh, because of your support is not there, because of you have not did your work effectively, this job is going to be not performed well. That much of things should not be there. You have to combinedly work with the employees. You have to be set a goal jointly that creates a greater ownership among the employees and accountability, right? Until and unless, this is very clear point. As a manager, wherever you will be there in the future, if you are as a manager, if you are